Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Ontario helicopter company to launch 30-minute transit from downtown Toronto to Niagara region. Canadian banks will remain open for business on Monday. It's a day of sorrow, funeral of Milton father killed in GTA shooting rampage. Ontario seniors to pay $400 per day to stay in hospital instead of moving to LTC. Ottawa man charged in Halton human trafficking probe. Brantford family traumatized after apartment mistakenly raided by cops, Laura says. A horrible loss, York Regional Police officer dead after head-on collision in Markham on way to work.
These were the headlines and let's jump right into the details.
38-year-old York Regional Police officer has died after being involved in head-on crash in Markham while on his way to work Wednesday morning. Officers responded to two-vehicle collision involving a white Honda Accord and Porsche Cayenne on Major Mackenzie Drive East between Richard Pearson Drive and Warden Avenue at around 6 a.m. Police said a little driver from Accord was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver was YRP officer identified by police as Constable Travis Gillespie. York Regional Police said Gillespie had been a sworn constable since April 2020 and was assigned to uniform patrol in No. 2 district. The driver from the Porsche, 23-year-old man from Markham, was transported to hospital to be treated for minor injuries. The cause of collision is not yet known. Speaking with reporters at the scene, Constable Maniva Armstrong said no charges have been laid in connection with the collision so far. That is a possibility, but this time there have been no charges, he said. YRP said they have handed the investigation into the deadly collision over the Peel Regional Police in order to ensure members of York Regional Police are not further traumatized by this incident. The situation, Maniva said, has affected members of the police community as well as community at large. Gillespie is survived by his parents, loved ones and colleagues, the statement from the force said. Before he joined YRP, Gillespie worked as a special constable for Metrolink's Ghost Transit and volunteered with Community Living and Primal MMA Academy.
Was sworn in as a police constable April 29, 2020, and he was assigned to our No. 2 District C Platoon as a uniform officer.
The Ontario government says hospital patients who are waiting for space in long-term care homes can be moved to other locations not of their choosing up to 150 kilometers away or be billed $400 per day if they refuse. Bill 7, also known as More Beds, Better Care Act, allows for the temporary transfer of senior hospital patients waiting for space in a long-term care home to another home not of their choosing. It received royal assent at the end of August. Advocates have previously indicated concerns saying that seniors would be transferred to long-term care homes far away from family or that they would be charged exorbitant fees to remain in hospital if they choose to refuse the offer. Health Minister Sylvia Jones told reporters the $400 amount is meant to provide strong incentive for families to have those challenging conversations. We chose $400 because we believe it is enough of concern for people to have those challenging conversations with the placement coordinators to make the effort as a family to have the conversations about where do we want our loved ones as they travel through their next journey, she said. The bottom line is acute care hospital beds need to be for acute care patients. The province has said there are 1,800 patients hospital waiting for a spot in one of their top 5 long-term care homes. Dozens of mourners gathered in Mississauga today to pay their respects to Milton father, who was killed along with Toronto police officer in shooting rampage on Monday. The body of 38-year-old Shakil Ashraf was brought to Jama Masjid Islamic Propagation Center of Ontario in Mississauga at around noon on Wednesday. Family, friends and community members were seen entering the mosque for the service. Ashraf's friend and former co-worker, who identified himself as Fahad, said Ashraf was a humble and kind person. He's a very helpful guy. When anyone needed anything from him, he was always there for them. Even his employees, he brings lunches for them on daily basis, almost things like that. He was a very generous person, he said outside the mosque Wednesday morning. Son Shafiq is volunteer at the mosque and says the whole community is devastated. Ashraf was a husband and father to 2 young girls, aged 11 and 12. Friends of Ashraf's daughter attended the funeral and told CP24 that they are still in disbelief over the tragedy. After the funeral service, Ashraf's body was said to be taken to Meadowville Cemetery in Mississauga. The Canadian Bankers Association says the country's banks will observe a moment of silence on Monday in honor of the memory of Queen Elizabeth II, but they will remain open for normal business. The association says the banks are committed to delivering essential services that Canadians rely upon. It encouraged customers to contact their bank for more information about hours and services. The decision comes after Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced that Monday will be a holiday for federal government workers to mourn the monarch. British Columbia, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland and Labrador are also following suit, closing government offices and schools, while Manitoba is closing all non-essential government services and offices but leaving schools open. Saskatchewan, Ontario, Quebec, and Alberta are not recognizing the holiday. An Ottawa man is facing numerous charges in connection with human trafficking investigation in Halton Region. Members of Halton Regional Police Services Drug and Human Trafficking Unit said they learned of a sexual exploitation of a victim occurring in Halton throughout the Greater Toronto Area last April. A warrant was subsequently issued for 25-year-old Alexander Clermont of Ottawa. On September 11th, members of the Ottawa Police Service arrested Clermont in Ottawa. He was turned over to Halton Police. Clermont, who also goes by the name Snoop, has been charged with trafficking in persons, received material benefit as a result of trafficking in persons, received material benefit from sexual services, procuring to provide sexual services, exercising control, advertising sexual services, assault with a weapon, and point firearm. He has been remanded into custody.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.